All right, guys, I got another subscriber request today. This one came from a Discord chat early this morning. Shout out to the Riddler. Mentioned wanting me to do a deck based around inflation. So, what does that mean? That means I am trying to tax my opponent's energy, basically making their cards cost more energy to cast, basically where they cannot cast as many cards on their turn. So, honestly, didn't think the deck was going to perform that well, but it really shocked me. I have not lost yet. I think I played 6 games already with it, and it's been pretty decent. So let's take a look here. First card I want to show is Ragnarok. So it says when it's drawn, your opponent's cards in hand cost +2 energy this turn. So that's going to be one of our main ones. Now it's just for the turn, which it's not as strong as some of these that say for the round or for several turns, but it is +2, so that's pretty good. Another one here we have is King Midas. When drawn, your opponent's legendary cards in hand cost +3 energy for 3 turns. So this is only targeting legendaries. So that's its downside. Another one we have is Manticore. When drawn, your opponent's arts and culture and history cards in hand cost +2 energy for 3 turns. So again, this downside of this would be, life on land, space, paleontology cards, all these other groups that it is not targeting. So that is the legendary ones. Now let's get down here to we have some more basic ones that are doing the same thing. We've got Violet, who says when drawn, 2 opponents' random cards in hand cost +2 energy for 3 turns. We have Queen Victoria and Prince Albert. When they're drawn, 4 opponents' random cards in hand cost +1 for 3 turns. We have the Sand Cat. When drawn, your opponent's cards in hand cost +1 energy for this round. So this one is hitting for the whole round, which is nice. We have Icelandic Yule Cat. When drawn, your opponent's cards in hand cost +1 energy this round. And finally, we have Sinterklaas, which says when drawn, your opponent's cards in hand with 50 or more base power cost +1 energy until played, and your cards in hand with 40 or less base power cost -1 energy until played. Which surprisingly, that does matter here and there. Now let's look at the rest of the deck. Again, we're going to play this in casual, primarily because the 7 energy starting requirement. I think it's going to be a lot easier, obviously, to affect their mana or their energy pool with that lower starting energy. So unless the leagues, that week is geared towards a lower starting energy, I would suggest only playing this in casual. So because of that, we have added Ghost, which you guys know I almost always add, just for that +2 energy permanently potential. I've also included Art Deco for the extra plus energy permanently, and it's a heavy hitter. American Crocodile. Now this one also affects their mana pool energy, so -2 energy for the round. So we want to try to play that early as we can, maybe round 1. Turn 1 or turn 1. Sometimes turn 2 if it mood strikes, but I try not to. So this deck, if you can see, it is lacking a little bit of power. A lot of these cards like Violet, Sandcat, Ghost, you see that Sinterklaas, they're all less than 40 base power. So for that reason, I've added Door to Hell as a buff to give these cards a little oomph behind them when we play them. I've also added in, for the same reason, the Multiverse, which I know I typically try not to add mythics, but in this case, I think it was needed for that +11 to my cards in hand. So I tend to try to sit on these cheaper cost cards that are cards like Sandcat and Violet until I can get them buffed up a little bit. Another card I added for that same reason is Rat King, giving everything that +13. And then Also, Rabbit's Foot, which I had another viewer ask me to kind of throw this in a deck. He wanted to see it in action, so I thought this was a good one to do it in because I have so many cheap cards down here that need a buff and they need it fast. So instead of doing something like Dragon King, which is at the start of the turn, it gives everything, I think it's +3 permanently. This one, that quick 12 permanently, especially on a card that I want to get back cycling like Sandcat. I want to play it. I don't want to sit on it too long waiting to buff it up. That's the reason I threw in Rabbit's Foot, hoping that it targets those type of cards like Sandcat, Violet, the Yule Cat, these cards that need that quick buff to make them viable. This deck did lack a little bit of power. That's the reason I have added the combo General Sherman and Douglas Fir, just to give that late game. If we make it to round 5, I now have enough energy. It's actually come up twice for me now in the 6 games I played, where I think I made it to round 4 or 5, and I was able to just play these 2 cards on the same turn and just basically take over the game because they can't play cards out of their hand, but this heavy swing turn for me basically seals the deal. So that's why I've included them. Same reason I kind of included, well, not the same reason, but the reason I included the Dolphin, as you guys know, is that +8 energy helps me get these big cards like Douglas Fir and General Sherman out of my hand if on a given turn, or King Midas is another good one. If on a given turn, I want to get the card cycling, but I don't want to spend my whole turn just playing one 7-cost card or 8-cost card. I can actually get this Hourglass and then get those big hitters back cycling and not get penalized too badly for it. So that's the reason I like the Hourglass Dolphin. Sometimes I will just let him sit in my hand for a while too after he's drawn, just because, like I said, the main focus is to get my other more important cards back cycling, not necessarily the Hourglass Dolphin itself. And I think that's the deck. I think I showed all the cards or talked about everyone. So let's go ahead and see how this does. Like I said, it really surprised me. I didn't expect it to be as good as it's been performing. I don't know if it's just the decks I'm up against maybe aren't as good or what, but they've seemed like they should be decent. So maybe this is actually a decent deck, and I'm just kind of surprised. I just didn't think the archetype of the taxing your opponent's energy I didn't think it would be strong, but it does seem to be fairly strong. So especially in casual, where like I said, where the energy is limited. So let's see if we can pull a win here on game 1. I'll probably do 2 games. So we do have American Crocodile in our hand, so we want to get him going right out the gate here. Kind of sucks with the Mana Core. They had all Life on Land cards in their hand, so unfortunately I didn't get a trigger off of it like I had hoped. Let's get Ghost down and see if we can get that +2 right now. Looks like we do, so that is good for us. Looks like he's going to have a Primates deck most likely, which is, that could be pretty annoying to play against, but we'll see how it goes. So there we go. We got that Hourglass trigger now. You can see we're up to 18 energy. So it's going to let us get these 2 big cards back cycling like I talked about. I don't want to leave them in my hand too long. I want those are the cards that are going to be doing the work for us, right? So we want those back in and going. All right, we're up to 12 energy now. You can see here we've got a bunch of triggers now. We've got Ragnarok hitting his cards. Sinterklaas hopefully dings something. It does. And again, Yule Cat, making everything expensive on him. So that is good for us. I want to get Ragnarok back in my deck, along with the Yule Cat. And let's just do all 3 of these that we just got. And then you guys can see this Rabbit's Foot over here. I'm just holding that card, letting it just boost up my other cards That is the whole reason I have it in this deck, is just sitting back and letting it do its thing. So, all right, I definitely want to get one of these trees back in my deck. So let's go with the Sherman and the Rat King. So round one looked pretty good for us. Honestly, I don't think we're going to have too much trouble this game, just looking at his cards and what he's been playing out. I think this is going to be an easy one if I had to guess. But you never know. There's our Sandcat trigger, and that's why we have Door to Hell. Now look, our one-drop Sandcat that was 0 power is now 50 power, and we can play 3 cards with it. So that's the reason for the Door to Hell. I think it's you're going to come up against a lot stronger decks than what I'm up against right now, that you're going to need that power to be able to stay in the game, and it is proven itself to me. We don't care if the Rabbit's Foot burns, so when we draw Door to Hell, a lot of times that's one of the cards that I'm sitting on, so it can burn away. I don't care, so it's not really hurting us. It's still going to buff the other cards, even if it's at 0. That does not affect the card at all. So that is the positive of that card. It might look like a nombo, but it actually is a combo, I think. So this is the final turn of the round, so this should be in the bag for us. Looks like he's struggling to play his cards. We are taxing him very effectively here. All right, so round 2's in the bag. Perfect timing on our American Crocodile. We want to get him down immediately. And like I said, I'm just kind of sitting on the Hourglass now and the Rabbit's Foot. I don't anticipate us needing to go to round 4 and 5. I think we can close this out just on these first 3 rounds here. He is definitely struggling with his high-cost deck. As you can see, usually those Primate cards are quite expensive. And we are taxing him to death. There's the King Midas trigger, the Ragnarok trigger. We got the Manticore even hit a card. This is looking pretty good for us. So there you go. He has to play a card for 8. Only can get 1 card down. Alright, so this should be the final turn. Get Yule Cat trigger in, making everything expensive. Hopefully Center Claws. Yeah, you hit at least 1 card that's not locked. So, looking good for us. Let's get our full power down. And that should do it, guys. So that's the deck. I mean, like I said, it's been performing very well. I've probably this is probably my 7th game with it now. I'd say 4 or 5 out of the 7 I've won all 3 rounds, the first 3 rounds like this, just a complete blowout. So again, I've been very surprised with it. I didn't think it would be very good, but I can be proven wrong too. So, all right, let's play one more and see what if we can win one more with it. Don't want you guys thinking this was just a fluke. We like to try to showcase 2 games if we can. So if the first one, if we lose the first one, I'll still show we lost the first one. I don't care. Can't win every game we play. Every deck should have a counter, is my belief. All right, so here we go. We have Ragnarok trigger. We've got Queen Victoria Prince Albert trigger and Yule Cat trigger. So we are looking good. We're going to get our American Crocodile down too to really punish them this turn. He's got Cloud Leopard going, so he's going to get an extra energy regeneration permanently, but I think he's still going to be struggling here. Oh, yeah, there we go. Sandcat triggering now as well, along with King Midas. Oh, it hit 4 cards, too. He is not going to be playing very much this turn, I don't think. Yeah, let's do it like that. Man, I don't even know if he can play a card this turn. Nope. That's funny. All right, so as you can see, this deck is already doing fairly decent. He's struggling to get cards. Let's get that Sandcat back in our deck cycling. That's going to do it for round one, guys. El Dorado does hurt us a little bit because he's getting that for 3 turns at +4 energy, which kind of counters us, right? We're trying to hurt his energy cost here. Oh, I need a sip of my drink. Sorry, guys. 1 second. All right, I think I want to get King Midas back cycling, along with the Multiverse. I wouldn't fault you if you chose Douglas Fir there. I was kind of debating myself which way to go with that. But I think with this purpose of this video, we want to try to get King Midas in, and we want to try to trigger and hit his energy, because that's the point of the deck, right? Oh, he's up to 19 energy now, so he should not have any trouble this turn playing cards. Hopefully we don't either. So let's see here. I want to do it like this. Japanese yen, that's kind of a counter to us. It's going to be making his cards cheaper now. Let's see if it makes a difference, though. Hopefully I can draw some more cards that are going to increase his card cost. Looks like Center Clause did not trigger, so that's unfortunate for us. All right, so we are up 271 on the turn. So he's sitting on 30 energy. How did he manage that one? I'm going to do it like this because I don't think he can catch up, but if so, that's good. Death actually helped us there, so his ghost didn't trigger. He's got Simulation Theory online now too, making his cards cheaper, so that's not very good for us either. But we're still winning, even with all these, seems like he's got a lot of counters going on here. They're still holding out strong, so let's see if we can close it out here. That would be nice. All right, he's got his Art Deco on, same time as we do. So he's up to 13 now on his energy regen. Looks like he's starting to steal our energy as well. So now this is one of them awkward turns where it's like, do you want to play American Crocodile on turn 2? Yeah, I think we do. I think we just get it back in our deck and going. He's probably going to win this round here. If he keeps getting 30 energy on a turn, it's going to be tough to combat. All right, Yule Cat triggering. Prince Albert, so that should help us. You start taxing. There's that El Dorado again. You hate to see it. Man, am I finally going to lose with this deck? That'd be nice. Sometimes I like to lose, you know, if a deck's feel like it's performing a lot better than expected, you know. Keeps me humble when I finally lose with it. Just Just want to get that violet back out of my hand. Hopefully draw something else. That's why I played it. There's that General Sherman. You can see the power. Kind of the closing, our finishing card for us. When we lack our big power turns. I'd like to see Door to Hell show up here too. Hopefully we can close out with it. Ooh, nice King Midas tax there. So we just added +5 to all his cards. So this is going to be quite expensive for him to play multiple cards here. Should be a good turn for us. There's that Japanese yen counter again. All right, we're up to 210. A nice Door to Hell draw would be perfect. There it is. Hopefully that can help us seal the deal. Up 210, so definitely want to get the Douglas fir down. And let's go. Let's try to get our max with Sinterklaas. Oh, and Door to Hell. I didn't even see that. So there we go, guys. That should do it. So if you guys liked the video, liked the content, feel free to subscribe, shoot me a like, Don't want you to miss out on all the good content. I'm trying to put out videos daily if I can. We'll see how long that lasts, but I've been keeping up with it so far. So, all right, guys. Thanks for watching.